Hi, my name's Nick, and I'm spending the next 30 days in Oregon. If you're new to my channel, I live in a new spot almost every month. And if you're curious about what to do when visiting Oregon, this is a perfect time to subscribe to my channel and keep up to date with what I'm doing in the state. My journey starts in Portland, Oregon, which is where I'll be home based for the entire month. It's Saturday and they have a big market downtown with a bunch of food vendors, a bunch of shops that are selling stuff. So we're gonna head down there because Portland is known for their food. All right, the first food we decided to get here in Portland are bao buns. It is so good, it's so like light and the meat inside is like really tender. And they have like hot sauce, they have like spicy mustard, but 3 for $10, can't beat it. All right, we are at Voodoo Donut. Before visiting Portland, online I was looking up best food spots to go to, what to do in Oregon, and this was one of the top food spots that said to come to. They have like every donut that you could possibly think of, and they've invented like a bunch of donuts. I got the Portland. It kind of looks like it's called a Boston cream donut. It looks really good. Aiden, what'd you get?
This is called All That Raz. It's a blue raspberry donut.
Dude,
the thing is huge.
These look amazing. One bite, you know the rule. It's a donut. I would say the size of these compared to like a regular donut is pretty good for what you pay. They're like $4 a piece. I think it's worth it. Are so good, unbelievably tasty. The bread is so soft and the ingredients just blend really well. The place that we got it from is called Angelina's Greek Gyros. I think they have 3 locations total, including the one here on Saturday, but I'll take a video of it, that way you guys can see it. Good morning, it's 6 a.m. here in Portland and we're about to head out for a coastal drive. It takes about an hour and a half to get to the coast from Portland, and then from there we're driving south. We're gonna hit the main spots. We're gonna hit Thor's Well, we're gonna hit, I think it's Hecta's Lighthouse. We're gonna get to Cannon Beach early in the morning and we're gonna check it out. It's one of the most popular spots. There was a sign that said look out for moose back there, and we saw these giant, we think they're moose, they could possibly be elk. We haven't seen moose in the wild. We're not exactly sure, but if you know if this is a moose or elk, leave a comment below. But yeah, these things are massive. Those were definitely elk. I couldn't really tell at first because they didn't have the antlers. But yeah, those were definitely elk. I feel like they were way too small to be like moose. But maybe we'll see a moose, I hope so. Our first stop on the Pacific Oregon coast tour is Cannon Beach. It's also like one of the most famous spots on YouTube. There's a ton of videos about visiting here. One thing I will say that I didn't really get from all the YouTube videos is the sea stack is so massive. It is just unbelievably large. It's definitely worth visiting. On our way out, we saw this. Apparently this is the best place to see puffins. And I really hope that we get to see one, but I don't think we will because they probably are all the way up on the top sea stack. Our next stop is Cape Kiwanda Sand Dune. It's about an hour and a half south of Cannon Beach, and it's this massive sand dune that you climb up and it has a beautiful view of the coast. Oregon's coast in general has a lot of sand dunes spread throughout it, but I'm pretty sure this one's the largest that you can actually climb up and look out over the coast. So that's the sand dune that we're going to. This sand dune is so massive. The hike up the sand dune was actually so hard, but it was so worth it because you get a view of one side of the Pacific Ocean and then you get a view of the other side of the Pacific Ocean, and the water's so blue and there's so many waves. But just know, to get up here, extremely difficult. Cape Kiwanda Sand Dune is a must visit. I watched a ton of YouTube videos trying to figure out what was the best spot to visit on the Oregon Pacific coast. It was not listed at all. I happened to watch one local video, a guy saying his favorite secret spots on the Oregon coast, and this was one of them, and it made me really want to come here, and so far the views have been the best yet. So definitely add this to your bucket list. Oh, the jackpot. He's massive. The colors of these sea anemones and starfish that we're finding on the rocks after the tide washed out are just so dramatic and so beautiful. I haven't seen any like these. I was super impressed with Cape Kiwanda Sand Dune and the state park in general. There's so much to do here and I feel like you could spend all day.
Yeah, I'll agree. You can definitely find a lot of stuff, but there's a real big lack of seashells. You can find a lot of clam shells and oyster shells, but you will not find any.
Aiden really wants seashell. They have sea lions in Newport, Oregon, and that's where we're headed to next. It's about an hour drive south. They have this thing called the Sea Cave. It's only apparently good in the winter where all the sea lions are in this cave. During the summer and spring, the sea lions are out mating and feeding, and you can actually see them in the city. They have like cement blocks that are like right by the docks that the sea lions sit on.
Dude, there's literally hundreds of them.
They're just floating. So we definitely found where all the sea lions are at. Go to Google and type in Newport Dock 5, and they're just everywhere. We were a bit confused where to find Thor's well because there are so many like little coves where waves are crashing in. But from the parking lot, if you just go directly straight out towards the water, there's a hole over there that the waves come through and crash up, and it's so cool. Aiden was able to get really close to it and look down in. I was a little bit worried because the waves were crashing super close and I didn't want to get like sucked out by a wave if it happened to crash over us, but we were able to get super close and look down in, and the views are spectacular. This is also like the only hole that I think is in this entire area. So definitely check it out. It's also a super easy walk down from the parking area. We're walking up to Hecta's Lighthouse right now, which is about 20 minutes south of Thor's well. We couldn't get a great view of them because they're way out on a rock, but we're pretty sure we saw puffins, which is cool because we were looking for them at the other spot that we were at, but couldn't see them. We're walking up to Terwilliger Hot Springs here in Oregon. It's about a 3-hour drive south of Portland, Oregon. And it's these hot springs that are collected into the mountain and they run down into these pools that they've created. The drive here was so scenic. After you turn off the main highway and start driving through the mountains to get to the hot springs, it's one of the most beautiful drives I've ever seen. Everything is so green. A couple things about the hot springs that we didn't know coming into this just due to a lack of research on our part. One, it's a $10 fee to get into the hot springs and you get 2 hours to soak in the hot springs. It's only cash or check. And another one that I didn't see posted on the sign back there, but we were talking with one of the rangers that work here. It is clothing optional. So if you come here, there could be some nudity And also don't bring your kids because it's only 10 years old up. But yeah, we're gonna check it out, and we definitely won't be getting nude. All right, we're here in the Terwilliger hot springs, and we're in the second spring from the top. So the one right behind us, behind this waterfall, is the top one. And then there's 2 more below us, and this one is burning hot. So I imagine the bottom one's probably like lukewarm, but still warm enough to soak in. But yeah, it feels really good. I wasn't expecting it to be this hot. It's like volcanic water, I feel like, just spewing up from the earth. We took a change, we got into the last pool, and it's definitely less warm than the pool above here. It's like lukewarm bath water, but it's also deeper, so you can kind of like get more into it and like actually submerge your whole bodies. And then there's one smaller pool, but I'm pretty sure that one's just like the runoff. It's not even meant to be like a pool. Next spot is Blue Pool. It's about a 10-minute drive from where we're at the hot springs, and it's this natural spring that's pretty massive, and we're hiking to it now. I think the water's like freezing on it because it's a natural spring. Best days to come see this are on cloudy days because you don't get the reflection from the sun, and it looks extremely blue. This is the first time I'm actually hiking through a forest in Oregon, and it's really cool because all the trees are covered in like sort of a thick layer of moss that makes it look almost spooky. We're ending our Oregon weekend road trip by eating at a food truck in downtown Portland. In Center City, Portland, they have a ton of food trucks that have like Chinese, Mexican, mac and cheese, some Greek food, and we're here for dinner now. We're at It's Taco Time, and we got a bunch of stuff. Aiden got a thing called quesabirria, which I haven't really, quesabirria, which I haven't heard of before. Apparently, like, it's a really tender meat. I got a burrito, I got churros, and I got ramen that they had, so we're gonna try it all here, but this is the spot for food in Portland. This burrito is actually bigger than my entire head. It's like the size of my forearm.